Hey guys, Tao Turns here. We practice Wu Wei on a board. For today's video, I wanted to walk through how I would build a skateboard, because I got this fresh setup here, so let's put it together. But before we do that, I'd like to read a passage out of the Tao Te Ching, which is basically the Bible of Taoism. Let's get to it. This is the very beginning of the Tao Te Ching book. So you can see here it has some Chinese writing of the original passage that Lao Tzu wrote, and this is kind of the English translation. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty, only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good, only because there is evil. Therefore, having and not having arise together. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short contrast each other. High and low rest upon each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Front and back follow one another. So, basically what I get out of that little last passage there is there's a duality in life. Just like, I don't know if you heard of the yin-yang symbol, but there's a white and a black. So this is the yang, or yang, as they kind of pronounce it in Chinese. And the black is the yin. So there's a duality of the light and the dark, life and death, because they arise together. They come together. We don't know how to do a super hard skateboard trick without knowing the easier ones, right? So yeah, it's just a great way to go about life, thinking about things in opposition working together. Just like, in the summer we got the sun, and then in the winter we have the clouds and the snow. But from those two different seasons, we got skateboarding in the summer, the bright sunshine, and in the winter we have snowboarding, because the clouds from above bring down some snow when it's cold and dark, and then we can slide over that smooth surface, more of that yin season, to allow us to snowboard, where skateboarding is a little more of that yang part of the year. So anyway, I just want to read one more little passage here. This one's not very long, I promise, but this is the Watercourse Way by Alan Watts, and this is kind of his thoughts about the Tao Te Ching, the Bible of Taoism. And this is Alan Watts, one of my favorite writers of all time, his thoughts on the Tao Te Ching. Let's see. So here's a little passage from the Watercourse Way by Alan Watts. I have practiced Chinese calligraphy for many years, and not yet a master of the art, which could be described as dancing with brush and ink on absorbent paper. Because ink is mostly water, Chinese calligraphy, controlling the flow of water with the soft brush as distinct from the hard pen, requires that you go with the flow. If you hesitate, hold the brush too long in one place, or hurry, or try to correct what you have written, the blemishes are all too obvious. But if you write well, there is at the same time the sensation that the work is happening on its own, that the brush is writing all by itself as a river. By following the line of least resistance makes elegant curves. The beauty of Chinese calligraphy is thus the same beauty which we recognize in moving water, in form, spray, eddies, waves, as well as in clouds, flames, and weaving of smoke and sunlight. Basically what he's saying there is, if you're with the Tao, or you feel the flow, it makes Chinese calligraphy a lot easier to write, which is calligraphy meaning like these Chinese symbols right here, or the words. And these writings, these little scribbles here, well, I wouldn't call them scribbles, they're masterfully drawn out with a paintbrush. It takes a lot of work. It's not like you can just type on a computer and then boom, you got words. This calligraphy that Alan Watts has been practicing is really hard to do. You can't just like paint and then, oh, my eraser, erase it, go back to it. No, it's ink on paper. So you have to really have a way with the brush, the way, which is often how the Tao translates into English, is the way. You have to have the flow. So if you hesitate or like do anything too fast, the calligraphy is not going to look right. So you got to make sure that you're in the flow and you're just letting the paintbrush dance over the paper, so it comes out as a beautiful art piece. Now, the way I would translate that from calligraphy, because I don't write Chinese calligraphy, is like building a skateboard. If I'm going to put this grip tape onto this board here, and I use my handy dandy kniffy, this razor blade, to cut the grip tape, if I hesitate or do anything too quick, it's not going to look right. It's going to be like, it's going to look all crappy, like, who cut this? But I've spent many years building skateboards in a skate shop. I worked at a skate shop for 5 years, and just over time and repetition, I have figured out how to smoothly glide the razor blade along the deck in order to cut the grip tape perfectly. I mean, I can't say I'm perfect, but repetition makes anything easier. So let's put this grip tape on this bad boy. So this is some grip tape I got from the skate shop that I used to work at. It was some years ago, but held on to the grip tape because there was just so much of it. I had rolls and rolls of grip tape, might as well keep a couple, right? This is a wristband from the skate shop I used to work at, Status Skate Shop, which is in Carlsbad, California. Why don't we put it on? It's a good wristband. Okay. Yeah, these are some old trucks that I had. Some Ace trucks. Because I got some new trucks for my newer board, so I thought I'd put these on my Tao board. Got some Bones wheels, some Reds bearings, got some nice Bones bushings in here. Cool. And you can see, I don't know if you've seen my trucks, but they wiggle a lot. Like you can even see this washer can rotate in there, because I like my trucks real loose. As Ace Trucks calls it, loose trucks save lives. It's not like Day One Song where he has no bushings, but I like a little bit of bushings, but I still like this thing to wiggle. Alright, all my stuff went flying everywhere. Tool, razor blade, okay. And I thought it'd be cool to throw some different hardware on here. I got some silver and some blue, so then I can show you guys which bolts we want to cover. Because when we're skateboarding, we want to cover the bottom two, show the top two. So to make it a little easier, we'll cover the blue and show the silver. So I'm going to put the blue on the bottom bolts and then the silver on the top bolts. Cool. We'll do the hardware later. And then this is my brand new Skate Mafia board. I really like this deck by Brendan Turner, the Pro model, because it's got a yin-yang symbol on it. This is a symbol of duality, the light and the dark. And now we're going to put some grip tape on it. This board's actually a twin, which is kind of cool. But you can see it has a Skate Mafia graphic pointing this way, so I'm just going to have the bolts face this way, even though it is a twin, so it can be ridden either way, which I kind of like, because I like to do switch and nollie tricks a lot. Okay, let's cut this bad boy open. Got this fresh razor blade here. Good thing I got my handy dandy brain bucket on, because in case this board building process goes haywire, I'm going to be extra safe. So Pop this guy open. Some fresh deck here, showing the duality, the opposites. Put this way. And make sure to keep the trash, leave no trace. Don't want to leave anything behind. And I got some nice mob grip tape here. It's been sitting in my closet for some years, so it's really rolled up. Yeah. Warning, skateboarding is dangerous. Huh. Who would have guessed? Okay. I'm just gonna roll this backwards real quick just so it kind of stays. Oh, I don't want it to crinkle it. I guess I'll just roll it on like this. I usually have a nice flat sheet where I can just put it on top and then start from the middle, work my way out. But because this roll is being a little annoying here, I think I'm just gonna place it on this way and then roll it out that way so the grip tape goes on nicely. But usually I like to line up my skateboard with the edge of a table like this, or like a workbench. So you can see right here on this side, I have it lined up. So then when I put the grip tape on, especially if there's like a graphic on here or I do some kind of nice cool cut, I want to make sure the grip tape lines up with the edge of the table. So then I know that it's looking all correct and straight on the skateboard. Woo, this grip tape's going crazy. Line it up. And just make sure it's all straight. Oh, this is a pretty big piece, so we're good. It's nice and wide. I cut the roll out a little extra, so it's a little extra to play with here. I did kind of crease it right there, so I think I'm just gonna go to the very end, just so I don't have that crease on my board. Okay, here we go. Here's some ancient Chinese calligraphy for you. Basically, we're just putting grip tape on a board. Alright. The hardest thing about gripping a skateboard is the air bubbles, right? If you just slap it on this thing, there's going to be a lot of air bubbles, and that could last the entire life of the skateboard. It's just you have a bubble in the like on your grip tape on the skateboard. So it's really important that you lay it out flat and you either roll it out like I'm about to do, or you use the whole sheet and you lay it on like this, and then I like to work from the middle if I do it that way, and then just crease it on this way so there's no air bubbles. I'm just gonna make sure this lines up right. Cool. And then pull this guy off as I'm laying it out. Get a little extra sturdiness here. There we are. So yeah, this is where the air bubbles come in, is when you start to just place it on there. You want to push down on the grip tape with your hand as you're placing the grip tape onto the deck. So, starting up at the nose here, I'm just gonna slowly lay this out. Usually I'm on a more sturdy workbench, but I just have this little camping table, so we're making do. But I'm just gonna pull this all the way off and keep this for later, because that's how we can fully apply the grip tape to the deck. Cool. Alright, we're looking good. So I'm working my way from the nose all the way to the tail here. So there's no air bubbles like that. That's a big air bubble. Push that out to the sides so it lays on nicely. Make sure to get the little pocket here all 4 pockets. And I think I was able to avoid those bad creases, because I don't want that on my board. That kind of looks ugly. You can see there's a little strip right here of an air bubble. I'm just gonna push that out before I fully seal it. Oh, there's a little crease. So there was a little crease there, so I'm gonna pull the grip tape off, pull it tight, so then when I reapply it, then there's no air bubble there. There we go. Just pushing all the air bubbles, all the air from the center outward. There we go. Cool. And then we can use the bottom of the grip tape here to make sure that it sticks, because grip tape's like a big sticker, right? So we're just gonna make sure it sticks. And if I did this without the paper, I'd be like, ah! Shaving my hand off because it's sandpaper. So we can just use the bottom of the grip tape to make sure it's all on there. Okay. Make sure to collect all the trash. Okay. Cool. So before we go right to cutting, we do want to crease, like draw a big oval around the edge of the board so it seals and I know where to cut it. So I'm just going to go along the edge here with the side of my tool. It's kind of like a file. And you can see it starts to draw a little line right there, and that seals the grip tape so no more air gets in there, and I know where to cut it. This is a newer tool that I just got, so I'm still trying to figure out where to grip it so I can use the file, but it is nice because it's a ratchet tool, so I don't have to, I can just ratchet and the bolts go right on. But it's a new tool for me, so I'm trying to figure out where to grab it. Let's do this. Set. Alright, grip tape. It's gonna be okay. Alright, almost there. Let's just do this side one more time. Nice good seal on it. There we go. Sweet. Alright. So, now that I have drawn this oval on my skateboard, I'm gonna pull the grip tape up a little bit, not past the line, but just so it's not sticking to the board, because then I can't cut it if it's stuck like that. So I'm just gonna pull it up along the edges just a little bit here, so then I can cut the edges off, turn this rectangle to an oval, and then we can do some kick and flips. Now it's time to cut. I'm going to start this way. I'm going to put it along the edge of my table here so I can bring it down this way. And they usually tell you not to cut towards you, but I kind of think that's for bigger knives. This is a little tiny one, and I've done this enough where I've found this is the easiest way to do it. So this is where we have to try and get into the flow with the Tao, right? If I'm trying to do this correctly, because just like Chinese calligraphy, if I am gonna like hesitate or do anything too quick, then the cut's not going to look right. So I just need to let my intuitive intelligence take over and just let the little razor blade kind of do the work for me. Cool. We're at the edge of the table. I start right about here, make a little cut into the board, and we're just going to go with the flow. So I'm going to cut a little bit so that I can grab this piece. We're just going to slice it. I like to go a little straighter over the pockets so there's a little more grip there. Oh, sorry, Maisie. Gonna turn it out. So then cut the nose. And turn it again. And just like with the back of the grip tape, you want to keep this part as well. Don't want anything to go to waste. It's all going to be useful. A little straighter on the pocket. Bring it over to the nose here. There we go. And just this little piece here, I'm going to try and line it up with where I started. And boom. Got a nice clean cut. Look at that. I'm surprised I didn't do worse on this little camping table here. But, you know, through repetition, just doing it all over and over again until you get that muscle memory, you know, everything becomes easier. Cool. So, now with this extra piece of grip tape here, we are going to sand it down. Luckily I got an extra big piece here so I can really sand it. So I'm going to fold it like this so it's not sticky while I'm trying to grab it. So I'm going to fold it right there. Oh, I guess I don't really care about air bubbles as much. And then I usually like to tear it right here. So then I just have a sanding square or a sanding triangle. I'll do that again on this side. A little less sandpaper to work with, but I'm just going to fold it at the corner. Fold this right at the corner. And tear this part. So now I have a nice little piece of sandpaper. And what we're going to do is sand the edge down just to make sure there is no way this grip tape will come back up again. So it's fully sealed onto the board. And you can either do one like big long strokes, or you can sand it a little extra. I kind of do a combination of the both of the two. And let's make sure we get the nose and the tail. You don't need to sand it too much, you know, it's gonna sand itself off eventually when you start rubbing it on the ground while doing kickflips and stuff, but you do want to sand it a good bit just so it doesn't peel up on you. Sealed off. Cool. This is my point where they meet. That's where I started and ended, so it's going to be a little more of a corner there, so I like to sand that part a little extra. Yeah, cool. And then I'm kind of a weirdo. I actually sand the crap out of my skateboards just because the grip tape wears away my shoes and my thumb a lot more. If you've ever heard of grip thumb, you get it from a fresh piece of grip tape like this, and when you're holding your board like this and you're dropping in all the time, it's gonna sand your thumb away. And I've had a good chunk taken out of my thumb just from sanding it. So to avoid grip thumb, what I like to do is sand, especially right here where I usually hold my skateboard. And also on this side where I usually do kickflips, right about here off the nose. I like to sand that part just so I don't get too bad of a hole. You can see I already put tape in there because I have a good hole right there from kickflips. But it's lasted pretty good. And the way to avoid tearing through shoes quicker and shoelaces, like somehow I've kept all my shoelaces on this shoe for a good long time. But to avoid that, let's sand it down a little more. So grip thumb spot, kickflip spot, maybe even the heel flip spot, but I'm not very good at heel flips. And honestly, I just sand the whole thing, because the more I move my feet around on this fresh sandpaper, it's just gonna wear away my shoes on the bottom until my shoe, this one's not as bad, but this shoe over here, I'm all the way down to the insole right there. I think it's time for new shoes. But if I start to turn my feet on my board, especially with fresh grip tape, they're going to wear away way faster. So I usually just sand it down like crazy. So then my shoes last longer. Cool. Give this a nice little pat. Sweet. That's not as grippy, which I personally like. You know, that's the cool thing about skateboarding, is it's a personal sport. It's not a team sport, so you can make it how you want it. And this is how I like it. I like no grip tape, wiggly, loose trucks. Just because that's what I like. You gotta figure out what you like best as well. Cool. Ooh, I've already scraped the bottom here pretty good. This table probably wasn't the best idea, but that's okay. It's gonna get scraped up by doing board slides anyway, so that's all right. It's a tool, not a trophy, right? If it was a trophy, I would have hung this up on my wall in my bedroom, which I do have a lot of skateboards hung up in my house, but gotta remember, it's a tool. It's not a trophy. Gotta use it like a tool. Okay. Why don't we just sand it one more time for good measure? Cool. Now I'm going to find a little stick. I didn't bring a stick with me, but there should be a stick right over here. There we go. There's a good stick. Alright. Poke some holes in this bad boy so I can put my fresh hardware in there. Sweet. Alright, here we go. Got a little bit of blue, a little bit of silver. So, this is the tail over here. So I'm going to put silver on the top, so the silver will be showing. And then blue on the bottom, so I'm going to cover the blue when I'm skating. Still stick in there. Push the stick out. Alright. Some blue, a little bit of blue. Silver, silver. Cool. Sweet, look at that. So we got silver on top, blue on the bottom of each truck, and yep, this is the tail. So then when I'm skating, I'm going to show the silver bolts and cover the blue bolts. So the blue bolts will be under my shoe, so that I'm in the pocket right here, and I won't go over the nose over here. And then on my trucks here, I like to put a B on one of the trucks for the bottom, or the back truck. Although I have switched these around because I do have a pretty good crooked grind groove right here. But also I think I've worn down this truck enough, like doing 5.0s and such, where it's getting a little thin. I don't want that to break. So my 5.0 spot, I'm going to put the B for back over here. I'm done with this table. The table's annoying me. Okay. So B for back. Make sure the kingpin, this big bolt here, is always in the middle when you're mounting your skateboard. And let's go blue on blue, and then silver on silver. Cool. Whew. Well, I wasn't fully able to find my flow with this board setup. Scraped it up a bunch. I mean, I was able to find my flow with the grip tape job, but it wasn't the exact scenario where I feel the most comfortable with building a board, because I'm usually standing up and I'm at a workbench or at a bench at the skate park, and yeah, it's a little harder to find your flow when you're not comfortable. So it is pretty important to find your comfort. A good way to get more comfortable too is to do some yin practice. You know, got the yang and the yin. The yin is where we can try and find our peace and our center, where we're a little slower, we're breathing, right? Because the yang is what we're doing all the time when we're basically in America or in industrialized society. We're always go, 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 right? We always gotta do the yang. So sometimes it's good to slow down, find your yin. This is where I find my yin, my peace, is by building skateboards. Whew. Look at that beauty. Oh yeah. Got the light and the dark, the duality on there. She's a beaut. Alright, final thing, I usually like to just push the grip tape down so the bolts are well nested and my shoe doesn't get caught on the grip tape when I flick a trick. Cool. And now for the final test. See if we can land a kickflip. See if she's up for the duty, up for the job. Let's do it. Kickflip test. Can we kickflip her? Oh, it's good. Woo. Sweet. I don't have to throw it in the trash can anymore because it's lucky. I landed. Oh, look how amazing. Landed my first kickflip on it. Sweet. All right. Well, thank you for joining me in this journey of skateboard building and book passages and that sort of thing. If you enjoyed our video today, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I shall see you in the next video with my fresh new skateboard setup. Thanks, guys.